Most people say they remember the day that changed their life forever. But I remember the moment I heard the scream. Not mine, hers. It echoed across the swamp like a broken prayer. A scream from a girl who never raised her voice. A scream from someone everyone thought was weak, silent, forgettable. But they were wrong. Because that day, when the bullies threw the quiet new girl into a crocodile swamp, the world witnessed something no one expected, and I was the only one standing close enough to see the truth unfold. Harper Collins arrived at Ridgewood High without a backpack, without friends, without a single word of introduction. She walked with her head down, clutching a small sketchbook, like it was the only thing grounding her to the world. Most people didn't notice her, but bullies, they always find someone to target. At the center of the school's troublemakers was Mason Clark, the loud, arrogant kid who thrived on humiliating others, and for some reason Harper became his new obsession. It started with whispers, then shoves, then ripping pages from her sketchbook just to watch her flinch. Harper never complained, never reacted, never even looked up. That made her even more of a magnet for cruelty. But I, Ethan Miller, saw everything. I sat 2 rows behind her in English class, noticing her hands tremble every time Mason walked past, not from fear but from holding something inside, something she refused to show. The turning point came on a school trip to the Ridgewood Nature Reserve, a place filled with towering cypress trees, muddy trails, and a swamp known for its crocodiles. Teachers warned everyone to stay away from the restricted zones, but rules meant nothing to Mason. I overheard him planning something, bragging about how he'd finally get a reaction out of the quiet freak. My gut twisted, and I followed from a distance. Harper wandered alone, sketchbook in hand, capturing the trees with delicate strokes. She didn't notice Mason and his crew, creeping behind her. Before I could yell, they grabbed her sketchbook and held it over the swamp. "You want it? Go get it," Mason smirked. He threw it into the muddy water. Harper gasped, her first real sound all week, and without hesitation she jumped after it. But Mason hadn't expected her to actually leap, and none of us expected what came next. A crocodile surfaced, jaws slicing through the water. Harper froze, water up to her waist, sketchbook drifting away. I ran toward the swamp bank, shouting her name, but she didn't look terrified. She looked focused. Harper moved slowly, too slowly for a normal person. She watched the crocodile's eyes instead of its teeth. She didn't splash, didn't scream. She moved with a strange, calm precision. I'd never seen courage like that. The crocodile edged closer, and just when Mason's smirk collapsed into panic, Harper dove under the water. The croc lunged, but she disappeared beneath it, using the murky swamp as cover. Seconds stretched like hours. I could hear Mason whispering, "Oh my God, we killed her." But then Harper surfaced behind the crocodile, silent, steady, controlled. She reached the bank and pulled herself up, drenched but unharmed. Everyone stared. That's when our teacher and a reserve ranger rushed over, alerted by the commotion. When Harper calmly explained everything, the ranger froze. "You handled yourself like a trained wildlife expert," he said. "Where did you learn that?" Harper finally lifted her eyes. "My mom," she said. "She was one of the lead researchers for the National Crocodile Preservation Project." The world around us went silent. The girl everyone thought was weak had just outsmarted and outmaneuvered a crocodile. News spread fast. Teachers, parents, even the media heard about the quiet new girl who survived a crocodile encounter with impossible calm. But instead of embracing the attention, Harper used it to raise awareness for wildlife protection, honoring her late mother's work. As for Mason, he faced suspension, community service, and the humiliation of knowing the girl he tried to break ended up becoming a hero. Harper didn't become popular. She didn't want to be. But people respected her now. They saw her. And maybe for the first time in her life, she let herself be seen. One day, she walked up to me and said, "Thank you for shouting my name. It reminded me I wasn't alone." And in that moment I realized the world didn't just witness her strength, I witnessed her heart. A quiet girl who shocked everyone just by showing who she truly was.